behind the sweet smile she always displays on screen, there is a wound that even her loyal fans may not know about. This is no ordinary story. This is the story of Jungkook, BTS Golden Age, who has been silent, but his heart may be screaming. About what he went through in the military, about the reality that the cameras never showed, about the emotional side that has been hidden. Jungkook. This name is almost impossible not to recognize, even by people who are not K-pop fans. He is not just a member of BTS, the biggest idol group in South Korean history, but also a symbol of dedication, talent, and undeniable charm. However, one thing that not many people realize is how the military has transformed a man who usually appears confident on stage into a figure who secretly holds an inner struggle behind his smile. We know that military service in South Korea is not just a formality. It's not just about getting a short haircut and wearing uniform. It's about facing a rigid system, a life of discipline, and an almost invisible social pressure. And when a celebrity like Jungkook is thrust into such an environment, all status, fame, and even past successes become irrelevant. There, everything is the same. It's back to zero. What's interesting is that Jungkook entered the military at the height of his career. He had just released a solo song, was praised in various global media, and was even predicted as the next big thing in the world pop industry. However, he firmly chose to fulfill his country's call. No drama. Without much talk. He simply said that this was his responsibility as a citizen. What he didn't say, however, was the severity of the transition from the glittering world to the harsh and lonely world. Psychologically, many studies have shown that extreme environmental changes such as those from showbiz to the military can lead to what is called identity dissonance, a clash between the self-identity formed over the years and a new system that rejects all forms of privilege. It's not just a matter of physical adaptation, but also an existential crisis. For an ordinary person, it can be exhausting, let alone for Jungkook, who has been living under the spotlight. According to some former soldiers who have served with celebrities, the pressure doesn't come from the military system itself, but rather from the expectations of those around him. Colleagues may be quiet, but they're watching. Some want to be friends, some want to prove themselves, and some just want to measure the celebrity whether he or she is really strong, or just strong in front of the camera. For Jungkook, this is a tougher test than just physical training. We all know that Jungkook is not the type to complain easily. He is not the type of celebrity who likes to make controversial statements or ask for sympathy. Since his debut at a young age, he has shown a professional and mature demeanor that is sometimes not apparent from his age. But precisely because of her silence, there are many painful things that she most likely never shared with the public. There were rumors which were never confirmed that Jungkook was under considerable psychological pressure during the first weeks of military training. Some Korean media outlets mentioned that he was seen losing weight, his face was pale, and he didn't talk much. But as always, he kept smiling. Even in public moments when he crossed paths with fans or other soldiers' families, he was polite and friendly. No one knows if the smile is genuine or just a form of defense. This is where an interesting theory emerged from military psychologists: smile defense mechanism. This is a condition in which individuals use smiles as a shield to cover emotional distress. In many cases, the person who looks the strongest and most cheerful is the one with the deepest wounds. And given the consistency of Jungkook's expressions throughout his military service, the same smile, the same soft gaze, it could be his most natural form of defense. So, what about the social dynamics in the military? Unofficial sources say that Jungkook is the type who adapts quickly, but that doesn't mean he doesn't experience difficulties. Not only did he have to face strenuous physical training, but he also had to adjust to the hierarchy and strict culture of seniority. In the Korean military system, a single day's difference in service can determine senior-junior status, which affects almost every aspect of interaction. And Jungkook, previously one of the most influential artists in the world, had to learn to bow, salute, take orders, and sometimes be scolded, without being allowed to retaliate. Some say that's when he truly became human. However, behind all the pressure, there is also a heartwarming side. Some of the soldiers who were in the same unit as Jungkook were reportedly very appreciative of his existence. Not because of his celebrity status, but because of his humble personality and never showing off. There are even stories that he often helps share food, helps clean up light tasks that other soldiers sometimes avoid. Little things that leave a big impression. And at this point, we can see that Jungkook isn't just serving his country. He is also reshaping himself. Not as an idol, but as a young man learning about life without cameras, without stages, and without applause. When you see a picture of him in the military with his cropped hair, makeup-free face, and shabby uniform, you might think something is different. But that's where the most powerful honesty lies. He is being himself. And his smile, maybe not a happy smile, but the smile of someone who is fighting quietly so that the world doesn't worry. Many are waiting for his return. Many are hoping she returns with a new song, a new style, and a new spirit. But perhaps the most important thing is not the song he performs later. Rather, it's the story he carries in his silence. The story of the silent times that we never saw, but shaped who he is now. But what's interesting about all of this is how the military experience has reshaped the way Jungkook sees the world. Many people think that when someone as strong as Jungkook enters the military system, it will be easy for him to survive. But instead, from the little stories that emerge from his barracks mates, we can grasp something deeper. That he's not just surviving, but he's changing slowly. There was one story that quietly became the talk of the Korean online community, not viral, but powerful enough to touch the hearts of those who paid attention. A soldier, not an idol, wrote an anonymous post. He shared that one night, when most of the soldiers were asleep, he saw Jungkook sitting alone in a corner. Not with his phone, not with a book, but just staring at the floor. His face was blank. Not sad, but not happy either. And when the man tried to say hello, Jungkook just smiled a little and said, "I just miss you. That's all." But from such a simple sentence, we can see that even someone as strong as Jungkook can feel vulnerable. This is the side that the celebrity world rarely shows. That underneath all the spotlight, they are still human. And the military system, indirectly, forces each individual to deal with themselves. Not just physically, but mentally. This is what military psychology theory calls forced internal reflection, a process in which environmental pressures lead a person to delve deeper into themselves, sometimes forcefully and sometimes with a deep sense of loneliness. And from this process of reflection, one's character can truly change. Some trainers even admit that Jungkook is the type of soldier who doesn't talk much, but shows a high willingness to learn. During physical training, he doesn't rely on his body's strength alone, but also patience. He never tries to be the best, but focuses on being part of the team. He respects seniors, helps juniors, and has even taken overnight guard duty from a colleague who is sick. These things don't make the news. They don't make it into the media. But these are the little stories that show what a true character Jungkook is.